Dear friends, hi, I'm Pashpil. Welcome you to this session of Economathematics. In this session, why I am speaking in English? Because most of the terminology used in atomic theory is in English. There is no translation as such for various elements of atomic structure. Therefore, I am constrained not to speak in Hindi. Rather than, I will like to explain how the atomic structure is similar to that of every element, including planets like Earth, and all surrounding objects are behaving in the same way. The atoms revolve in a predetermined orbit. I would rather call this software as a naughty software because it can be used to explain the most complex science of atoms, because atomic energy can be used for destructive purpose. When we explode it, we call it atom bomb, and we can also use it for generation of electricity and radio isotopes, etc. for peaceful purposes also. Every atom contains in the core a proton that is positive and contains mass. Mass means it has a certain weight. Along with proton, there is also neutron present, but it has no negative or positive current. It remains neutral, means it can either be negative or it can be positive as well. But electron, on the contrary, is negative charge. It has a negative charge, and it also revolves around the nucleus of the atom, but it has minus value or minus charge. Now we can place it neutron, electron, and proton similar to that of consumption, production, expenditure, and income. As we understand, and we have discussed it several times, that consumption is negative because when we consume anything, the value diminishes, and we have to keep on increasing the consumption to replace the loss. Similar is the case with production, that is plus. We add certain values to it, and this is how the exchange between the physical quantities of consumption, that is negative, and production, that is positive, is changed. It was in the sense a barter system, but when the money came to just evaluate consumption and production, the money was invented. Money can be negative, can be positive. Means this is just nothing but neutron, because it is neutron also contains a mass, but it is not charged. It has no charge at all. On the contrary, the electron, that is minus, you can keep it along with the consumption. And since the purpose of production is to add the value, you can keep it just like proton, because proton has a plus value. It also contains weight. So this is how the four corners of consumption, production, expenditure, and income. Money is not either plus or minus. Yes, when it is used for evaluating a commodity, it can be anything which human beings can consume. Money is applied, but it is always changed. It never destroys. With the increased production, which what we call is the expansion in the economy, It is because of the fact that if there are more people, more consumption will take place, and if there is a more consumption, naturally more production will have to take place. But the money remains same. Money supply remains same. On the contrary, if the consumption and production increases, in that case, more money supply will have to be applied. Otherwise, there will be shortage of purchasing power. Therefore, economies grow this way, just like protons, electrons, and neutrons. Income can either be plus, either be minus. But since it has a power of converting a commodity found in the natural resources, so it has a value always increasing. Similarly, consumption is negative because we consume it again and again, again and again. Whole life we do the same way. So we have now four balancing what we call it as a attraction and repulsion. Plus and plus always repel. Similarly, minus and minus always repel. Plus and minus always attract each other. So this is how the equilibrium between demand and supply takes place. Similar is the case with the atomic structure. If we apply for peaceful purpose, there is an atomic reactor. It is always in a tomb-like structure because if there is a radiation, the radiation should not go out. Therefore, electricity is always generated in a tomb-like, very solid concrete structure. And within that, there is what we call atomic fuel that is burned to heat it up, and when it is heated, the water is circulated around it. Due to heat, the atomic energy is converted into vapor, and by the help of vapor of water, the turbines are operated, and that is how the electricity is generated. On the contrary, a very small sealed structure made of very hard steel is kept inside the atomic bomb, and when pressure is created, the atom bomb explodes because the heat generated inside it can be so strong to burn the outer shell of a bomb, and that is how the atomic bombs are exploded. I am not a nuclear scientist. I am simply a chartered accountant. But there are certain other aspects which attracts my attention, and sometimes I wonder that why Lord Shiva is the destroyer, and why Lord Vishnu is a creator. What we call is the navel or Navi stone, from where the Brahmaji is created. So, can we also call it a atomic structure? Means Lord Shiva is negative charge and Lord Vishnu is positive charge, and a part of it because ब्रह्मा जी नाभि से निकले हैं विष्णु भगवान की, हम कह सकते हैं कि वो न्यूट्रॉन का ही एक स्वरूप है. I am not going to discuss it in great detail. In another session, I would like to discuss more about the Hindu mythology, because Lord Shiva never takes a new birth, but Lord Vishnu has to come to this earth again and again, again and again. What we call it, say, Dashavatar. That's a long history that how the nation was born in different colors and shades. And what we are today is the natural progression of similar kind of events taken place. Sometimes they incarnate as Ram, sometimes he is called Krishna, sometimes he is called Buddha. But Lord Shiva always remains same because he is the destroyer as well as creator. He is the lord of time. We are also same way. We take birth, grow up, get old, and then according to our age, we die, and what we call its five elements, that is Bhumi, Vayu, Agni, Jal और आकाश, इन पांच तत्वों में हमारा शरीर विलीन हो जाता है. Much the same way, every object of this nature has to take birth, gain some age, and then they have to be part of these Panch Mahabhuts, five elements, the whole world, or we can call it the whole universe made of. But the question remains that who gave birth to it? It's a very complex question, and I would like to throw some light on it when the appropriate time comes. Right now, we are discussing just about the atomic structure, that is proton, that's plus, electron, that is minus. They both contain some weight, and one is positive charge, another one is negative charge, and neutron, it is a neutral. Just like the value of money, it can be applied for any purpose, for productive purposes as well as for consumption purposes. There are various items of consumption and various items of production, and the thirst of consumption of the human beings is enormous. According to time, according to climate, according to changing fashion, according to the availability of purchasing power, comfort, status, there are so many factors which affect the pattern of consumption, and accordingly the process of production has to undergo various changes over the time. The strength of the economy is judged by the fact that there are how many consumers and whether or not their income is also increasing. And if the income is increasing, is the fare jolly well good indicator that they apply the income for increased consumption. Similarly, there is also a concept of false breeder reactor, which the India has recently developed, and there are vast resources of thorium in the sense of Kerala sea beach. In the other parts of the, say for example, the desert of Thar, there also the sand contains thorium. And there are certain river beds also where the thorium is found in abundance. The problem was that how to convert thorium into radioactive material that can be used to produce electricity for peaceful purposes. There is no concept of thorium atomic bomb, but mainly it can be used as an economic resource to generate own raw material by converting thorium into other radioactive material. Therefore, it is called fast breeder. In the nuclear facility of Kalpakkam, India has successfully demonstrated that thorium can be used to generate electricity, and thereby also creating atomic fuel for the next cycle of consumption of atomic structure. Again and again means the wastage of thorium can be recycled again and again. How many times I am not very sure, but the concept of breeder reactor goes the same way. The problem is right now that how to create small facilities all over the India means Kalpakkam is a very huge facility, but if we can create small reactors and place it in all corners of this length breadth of country, the easy source of sustainable resource will be available to India, because there are other sources also, and science and technology is progressing that way, that solar energy. But the biggest problem with the solar energy is this, that there are certain months when the radiation of sun is not good enough to generate electricity, and it is only In sunlight, the solar panels work. Means in the night and in certain months of monsoon, solar panels cannot be used. And if we want to use it, very expensive battery storage will have to be created, which will be very expensive. And right now, we are not in a position to store the solar energy during night and certain months of the year. Similar is the case with the wind energy. Sometimes it blows very fast, and sometimes it is you can hardly feel the current of air. Therefore, the turbines cannot run all the time, all the months. There are only certain regions where the wind flow is strong enough to generate electricity. In most of the part of the India, the wind energy is not good. The availability is very poor that way. Similar is the case right now, the hydrogen. We are making good progress at this everlasting resource of energy. If we achieve success, it will be a revolutionary kind of source of energy for sustainable development. But there are many issues they are yet to be solved because once again the question of investment. All these projects are very initially very they require huge capital, huge structure to facilitate production of hydrogen and small how to burn it because it is highly explosive. Hydrogen is highly explosive gas because H2O, when you separate hydrogen with the atoms of oxygen, what remains is the hydrogen only. And the combination of hydrogen with any other outside humid source may cause it to explode. Therefore, the question of safety and question of sustainable energy in near future we will definitely find some solution to it, but then we'll have to wait for a few more years, do some research and redesign the engine which can power the most demanding area of its application, that is the transport. Can we fly aircraft? Can we operate railways? Can we operate our automobiles using hydrogen? It's all feasible. It can be applied there, but then mass production and mass consumption will have to wait for some more time. In another session, I will like to throw some light on Indian mythology. I have given some indication, but I don't want to offend the sentiments of Hindus because for them, Lord Shiva, Lord Vishnu, they are sacred. So I will have to be very careful when I apply the atomic structure to these deities because I will also worship them almost daily, and it is during this time when I see the photograph of Lord Vishnu lying on the bed of Sheshnag and from the Navi ब्रह्मा जी क्योंकि जो हमारे यहाँ श्लोक है उसमें इनको सुरेश भी कहते हैं, ब्रह्मा जी को सुरेश भी कहते हैं और उनका उद्गम स्थल भगवान की नाभि है और ऊपर भगवान ब्रह्मा और सुरेश जो क्रिएटर है, हर बार जब एक युग का अंत होता है तो दूसरा युग चालू होता है, दूसरा युग खत्म होता है, तीसरा चालू होता है। इस तरह से जो है बनता बिगड़ता और उनका काम हमेशा सृजन रहता है, अर्थात ये भी एक तरह से अणु है, मगर इसके बारे में चर्चा हम अगले सत्र में करेंगे। फॉर दिस सेशन इट वाज जस्ट ए इंट्रोडक्टरी सेशन दैट हाउ द सॉफ्टवेयर कैन बी यूज्ड टू अंडरस्टैंड द एटॉमिक स्ट्रक्चर ऑफ प्रोटॉन, न्यूट्रॉन and electron. There are various theories of Dalton that how the light is also made of atomics, but light speed can be generated, but light is also not travel in the same direction. Due to some gravitational attraction, the ray that contains the charged electrons, or call it light emitting atoms, the straight light of atoms, due to gravity and various other factors, it changes its course. Means it doesn't travel in the straight line. Therefore, now the quantum physics is also generated, where packets of atoms is can be sent at a much faster speed. But there remains once again a basic question that is there anything faster than the basic thought travels almost entire length and breadth of the universe in a jiffy of second. That is the power of human intellect, that second before you were thinking something else, now you are thinking something else, you are thinking something else. You keep on changing the thought, and accordingly, our mind changes its pattern from one to another, one to another. But when you concentrate, that is how the Indian rishis and muni, when they are in deep meditation, they could see what's happening around the world, around the space, in a jiffy of second. So that is the power of thought, the astonishing speed with which human mind works. There are many complexities, there are many factors that why today we lack in concentration, because there are so many attractions around us which distract our mind, and that is how we lose the peace of mind and keep on worrying about something which has no real value in your life, but short sightedness has created such a mirage that everybody is running after the money, 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 money. Money, money, money is the rich man's world. So now everybody is just going after the comfort which he thinks he can buy money. Okay, we also need, everybody needs, but over concentration and over emphasis on the earning capacity, it has created a distortion in small kids, and the parents are also instructing their kids, the younger ones, the youth, that try to get some useful employment, earn more money. Nobody is talking about checks and balances in the society, that how much accumulation money you can do. Because along with the money comes various problems which disturbs our peace of mind, and without peace of mind you can't enjoy anything. Very fast you lose your health, because the worry that tomorrow I will earn more money. So the priorities of life are changing very fast. Somewhere we'll have to think again that simple living, high thinking is more useful, or just the show of wealth, that how many cars you contain, how much big residential house you have. Similar kind of unnecessary show of wealth, comfort, just to increase the status in the society, is creating a big ripple effect all around the world, all around the societies, and we'll have to contain it, because otherwise there will be once again a nuclear type of explosion in our societies, which will destroy the peaceful environment of coexistence, harmony, because we have taken a very heavy toll of pollution and climate change due to indiscriminate consumption pattern. We are still not trying to contain it. Rather, our policies are directed to how to maximize consumption. I am not going to discuss the economy part of it right now, but I am just trying to pass on the message that a balanced approach towards our life is so essential. It's so critical for the welfare of the mankind. With these words, I once again say that please, if you like the contents of this video, give me some hints where I am lacking it. Have you understood or not understood? That is one question. And giving suggestion because I am a chartered accountant, not a nuclear scientist. Yet I am venturing to use this software to explain the very complex theory of atoms in the hope that our generation will take some cue out of it and educate itself how much important it is means atomic power, use it for peaceful purposes rather than destructive. Thanks.